Started here with map number 1 as we're going to be going on Deep Embrace. And I actually haven't seen too much Deep Embrace the last couple weeks, but here we are. So we're going to be kicking things off with CNZ, and he's going to use that orb to steal away the heavy.
No.
He gets nailed with the rail on the way down, but what a beautiful opening by CNZ. He takes both of the major items. He might even be set up here, CNZ, for a follow-up frag, and I'll tell you what, out of the gate, this horse is galloping like mad.
I mean, that was a... couldn't have got a better start. And what I'm also enjoying off the bat as well is just the use of the passive for the Ranger. That's what makes Ranger scary. If you play Ranger at tempo, you use the orb aggressively, use that passive to rocket jump around, get you up to the high ground quickly. Ranger becomes a different animal. It seems he's doing all of that and more. You see the Pika doesn't do a lot of damage, but vengeur's going to have to find a way to stabilize as he's on -1. Since he has both items and some damage to follow it up as well. It will be 2 as well. Great rocket into shotgun. He is on form.
Very much on form. It was nicely done, a clean second frag, and vengeurR did get some good damage in right there, but CNZ clearly in a much better spot, able to grab that heavy. He lands a great rail on vengeurR again. Could even follow up with a third frag here as his opponent does kind of sneak away and just slither about, but not too many places to run here. Dan, is CNZ's controlling that top middle quite well. He definitely has his timings down here. He's able to even hold off. That orb comes up, and he immediately finds a way to use it. He left Mega behind. The heavy is up. I don't think he's going to be able to grab it. It could be a mistake here.
It is, as vengeurR picks up both. You're right. Greedy from CNZ after all his hard work. He's not undone, but he's definitely set himself back a few paces. But he's connecting with everything so far, and I don't think his aim gets enough respect because he's hitting so hard.
Oh my god. He really is. I mean, vengeurR had an open, like the window was open suddenly. That's 3 rails in a row. One of them on make it 4 rails. Ooh, coming in for the orb, but stopped short as vengeurR getting his first frag. Unfortunately, that just puts him back at 0 as the suicide early on put him at -1. So he needed that to kind of equalize things, but he's still got to do something with this control. vengeurR hurt once again. Rocket defensively does do a good job knocking his opponent back, but no armor at all. CNZ also not looking super great, so he can't engage here. But the LGs come out. Nice rail from vengeurR. He can't follow up with the second one and will lose the opportunity on that frag, but he stays alive.
But he's getting himself back into this game. You can see the momentum's definitely stabilized for vengeurR now. He's got himself positioning. He's hitting some damage. He's got CNZ refined to that side of the map. So he's done step 1 on his journey back to redemption.
And sometimes that can be the toughest step to take, Dan. Like, that can be the hardest
deep
one.
Embrace, yep, definitely.
Yep, for sure. I mean, you just saw that momentum that CNZ kind of compacted over and compounded at the very beginning. So heavy is back up. Both 4 major items back up. We are going to definitely have a little bit of separation here. Probably nope, not actually at all. As both players fire out some rails and then decide to back off and grab their respective major item. So CNZ on the lower levels, looking for an opportunity. Orb's going to be up in 10. Peeker's going to be up in 10. I'll tell you what, CNZ on just his management overall, his ability management's been great. Every single time it's been up, he says, all right, let's figure out a way to use it. But from the top, Peeker come down, does get some damage. LG to try to finish it off. Ooh, CNZ with a nice little trail himself, and vengeurR almost gets yet another frag, but somehow CNZ gets away.
Yeah, we talked off the bat about how aggressive CNZ was playing, but you pointed out in the intro, CNZ is more known for just setting up shop, digging in his heels, and being really hard to move, and that's what we're seeing now, just breaking down that defensive wall of CNZ, because he hits so hard, is a scary proposition, and vengeurR is doing a decent job. He just can't finish off his opponent, and every time he's not able to, CNZ's now restacked and is back on an even playing field.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the thing. When vengeurR goes back and watches his VOD, he's going to see, you know, 5 health, 10 health, 20 health, and that's rough. You know, there's been a couple times also where vengeurR's missed those rails, where CNZ picked up those rails early on. So Peeker doing a little bit of scouting there, not dishing out any damage at all. We're about to hit the 5-minute mark, and just look at the discipline here of CNZ. In fact, popping up to the top, immediately landing a rail. He's not going to be able to get that heavy, but just, you know, the way that he is able to shift gears back and forth between I'm going to be super in your face and aggressive to I'm going to sit here for 10 seconds, make you wonder where the hell I am, and then land a beautiful rail on you. Another nice rocket coming out, but the exchanges between these two have been absolutely magical.
Also sensing a little bit of frustration coming out from vengeurR, you know, trying to push up onto the high ground where CNZ was waiting for him. Bit of a rookie mistake from the QuakeCon champion. He has now got CNZ on the ropes again, but can he finish him off? He can't let him go once again. Surely he can't let him go again. This time there is 15 seconds for the Mega, so it should be a matter of time. And that would put vengeurR in a perfect position to continue his control of the map.
Yep, and CNZ so low. Another one where he is just not able to get him down to 14 points of health. Just a tickle would get rid of him, but vengeurR just cannot find him. CNZ not having much luck finding any health, but he's avoiding his opponent, and that's fine. He'll get to it when he gets to it. Now vengeurR with a full stack, and he's got to figure out a way to try to make something happen. And there it is, a beautiful direct rocket between the bridge. However, Dan, as you mentioned, the one first step that was important for vengeurR, bringing himself back from that -1, equalizing the game, grabbing some control. That was done. Now here's step 2, right? One step towards trying to tie this game up. There's about 3.5 minutes left to do that. vengeurR bullies his opponent out of that mega room. Now going to try to get that heavy. He cannot. But vengeurR is on the hunt. Unfortunately, that window kind of closed. He had an opportunity, but CNZ's equalized things, so it's going to be fighting on fair ground.
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake there from vengeurR. He's playing the strong. I thought he could have just slid around the corner and closed down his opponent, but instead he actually lets him get out and pick up a heavy. So not the best from vengeurR, and this map is now closing down in terms of time. 3 minutes to go. There's only 2 frags in it. Absolutely nothing. But CNZ's done a great job just to make every frag vengeurR's got a trial for the young Italian. And he gets away once again.
I mean, you know, I mentioned movement before, but I gotta say, like, CNZ is giving a masterclass on movement with vengeurR in this map right now. vengeurR, you mentioned the frustration. It's absolutely true. Now, here's an opportunity. He's got him trapped in the side. We will see Peeker go down, but how much longer can CNZ keep this up? He tries to orb right into the face of his opponent. It doesn't work out, and now it's a 1-frag game. Now, vengeurR has an opportunity, especially with his spawn, try to keep that rail out of the hands of his opponent. He's doing a little bit of chip damage now. However, that heavy was picked up. He's going to have to retreat away from that. He's still got to think about this timer, Dan, as he's down by 1. He can't just throw it all out there. He gets nailed by a rail on the way down. CNZ looking for a second one. He lands it. 11 points of health, and this time vengeurR's the one running away, and CNZ can't clean it up.
That was really greedy from vengeurR to go for that. He put himself not only in a vulnerable position, but he did so taking a vulnerable route, and CNZ made it pay with 2 rails, put himself another heavy. It's actually in the right position for him to pick up the next frag, and there you go.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I can't even believe it. It looked like the Peeker was actually maybe going to go in for the kill with the explosion there, but actually it is the orb. And we will get a frag back on this one. Dan, I thought maybe it was over there with CNZ getting that frag, but vengeurR off the spawn playing smart. Now he's increased his speed a little bit here, going in on his opponent with that lightning gun. Can he do it? He's got about 1 minute and 15 left. He takes another rail from ZNZ, and that is the real MVP here in this matchup. Going in for some more damage on the Peeker, but vengeurR's got to be careful. The time's ticking away. 1 frag to go.
vengeurR needs to get himself an item. He's been too busy chasing his opponent around the map. He's almost lost timing, lost positioning. He got himself a Mega as CNZ does let that one go, but heavy has been CNZ's territory, and it will go his way once again, meaning this fight is going to come down to pure execution and positioning.
Going in from this back. vengeurR looking for a shot. He knows exactly where his opponent is, and this is smart here by CNZ. He's staying in the middle. He's able to see both sides, avoid when he can, but there's the rail coming out from vengeurR, answered back by CNZ. He's going to get back up there. Mega's going to be up here in a moment. Great defensive rocket from CNZ as he's now just gone to the other side of the wall. And this is going to be rough here. 20 seconds remaining. There's the heavy. He's got to go for it in the back area. Can he find CNZ? He's got an idea on where he's at. No, he turns around. He goes the other way, Dan. He's got to know that he's back there. He's got 9 seconds to do
he's
it.
gone the wrong way.
The wrong way again. And CNZ doing his best solid snake impression inside the cardboard box. Completely jukes vengeurR for the map 1 win. You have to give him credit for the way that he played that map when he needed to be aggressive early off of the starting block. Boom, he was aggressive. When he needed to slow it down, CNZ really did it. The tempo was set and chosen by CNZ the entire matchup, and despite the fact that vengeurR actually, I think, still played pretty well, CNZ takes the win.
Well deserved, I think. Obviously, a huge credit to that victory goes to the phenomenal start he got. A couple of frags straight off the bat, but you can see, and this is what we did talk about a bit, CNZ has this ability to get under players' skins. He rattled vengeurR because he does everything so well. There was no, every time vengeurR tried to make a move, CNZ was repelling him, and that is incredibly frustrating. You never see vengeurR look that disorientated on a map. You can see actually double the damage in rail from CNZ. You don't ever see that against vengeurR. He played phenomenal, and can't discount how difficult it is to play on that map on the back foot, which after his start he did for pretty much the whole time. He played slow, he played safe, he rotated the item, he kept presence of mind to stay on the map when vengeurR was just running around like a headless chicken. CNZ was working around that, and so it was deserved from start to finish.
Yeah. I mean, chat right now is either huffing copium or just celebrating as the channel points went onto CNZ's side. And, you know, someone asked a question in chat, why do people keep underestimating CNZ? And I think it's it is a good question. You know, my answer to that would be that CNZ is actually someone that I don't underestimate. It's just I'm not sure which CNZ I'm going to see, right? I would say that CNZ's biggest issue has been overall consistency. If CNZ played every single map the way that he just played versus vengeurR, right? Like that's, I think, his full potential right there. So to me, it's more just being able to see more of that consistency. Now, throughout the last couple seasons, like CNZ's had a pretty interesting story. If y'all remember when he came in through Challengers, he had a great run through the brackets. So everyone knows that potential's there. Maybe, you know, maybe that time has come, ZSX, and I don't know, the next 2 map is going to help us get one step closer to figuring that out.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And CNZ, as you said, the consistency is there. I think the other side of it is, for me, he's sometimes struggled in the past with adapting when things aren't going his way, if strategies aren't going his way. He has the ability to play aggressive and defensive, but sometimes he's struggled mixing of when to use each one of those. And we've seen him lose like 20-30-0 because he's just gone full out aggressive and doesn't adapt. We've also seen him lose by small score lines because he's been too defensive and not been able to pick up the pace. So finding that balance is just a sign of maturity, which he's definitely growing into now.
But now we move on to map number 2, Dan, and we got Scale versus Anarchy, a matchup that you don't hear read out too often, but it does happen, this time on Insomnia. And I'm a little scared for vengeurR here, right? I mean, this has the recipe for massive disaster, where he could literally be just manhandled and bullied by CNZ if caught out wrong, you know, a bad inject on his part. So I'm looking to CNZ to see how he's going to play this and control this one. We do see it come out immediately, bull rush into the inject, and now it's going to be LG versus LG, and vengeurR handles it pretty nicely. Gets that inject in, goes to lower levels, pulls out the LG, cancels bull rush effectively, and then we have, you know, we have the first frag on the board. So vengeurR, can he keep that up now for 10 minutes? That's going to be the real question here.
Well, I was about to say, this map is really interesting to watch because it really did not favor the skill set of a scale bearer. The speed and stack is nice, but the bull rush you can easily outmaneuver because the geometry of the map definitely favors air control. It definitely favors the Anarchy. And so, you know, a smart player like vengeurR should be able to work around the scale bearer. That's exactly what we're seeing already. That air control is more powerful than just the stack of a scale bearer.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned with the geometry, it lets, you know, hypothetically, we're like putting this down on paper. The Anarchy should have some advantage from just playing a ranged game, right? Good mobility here. Here's another nice exchange. There comes the inject. There, I don't know if he's going to be able to clean that one up. He cannot. But I think that vengeur's is like, okay, if I hit my rails, I can position myself really well. Scale's a real big target, so I shouldn't have too much problem with that. And so far, that's worked for him here. And there's not too many places where the rush is going to be really beneficial to CNZ. So far that's what we've seen in these open moments. I think, remember CNZ kind of slowing it down and trying to create some traps in map number 1 and in other games that we've seen him. That's what he's going to need to resort to doing. He's going to need to get in the head of vengeurR in that way and surprise him and then try to make something happen off of that. So he's going to try right here. No, LG reigns supreme yet again as vengeurR puts number 3 on the board.
Yep, and vengeur's playing nice fast tempo, keeping the pressure on CNZ. CNZ struggling to even get a major item at this point in the map, and you know, he picked this map, he picked this champion. We came into this assuming he had some sort of almost cheesy game plan up up his sleeve, but we haven't seen anything that would suggest that so far. He's just trying to play a normal game as Insomnia and bull rush into his opponent. And, you know, it's not working at the moment.
Yeah.
And we did praise CNZ a lot on map 1, but we have to take into consideration he was up the entire time. What does he have up his sleeve to play from behind?
Very nicely done as frag number 4 comes on vengeur's side. He was a little sticky situation there, but inject helped him at least finish his opponent off one last time. And yeah, I don't think necessarily the approach that we're seeing, although LG coming out from CNZ this time, it's on point and he gets his first frag. This is going to be the real telling portion, right? Can vengeurR get back? Ooh, caught out coming around the corner, trying to get some damage off, but can vengeurR keep or get back some level of control? Can CNZ capitalize off of that frag that he got? That's going to be the big question I'm looking at right now, as we are 4 minutes into this one. Still a lot of game to play here, and CNZ is down by 3.
What vengeur's doing a great job of is just doing this chip damage, making sure that the scale bearer stack is manageable, and it's really nullified the aggression from CNZ. The first minute or two we saw him just trying to run at vengeurR. Now he's learnt his lesson, he's got a lot more respect, and vengeur's just keeping on top of that. So it's changed the dynamic of the game already just a few minutes in.
Some rails fired and missed on both sides. I think rail has been incredibly crucial so far in this map. Allowed vengeurR to open up his first little bit, using bull rush to do I'm not even sure what, but he takes the LG from the upper levels, and vengeurR with an easy frag there, not really losing much of anything, a little bit of health as he gets some armor stack back. And yeah, I don't know what CNZ could be doing differently other than just, unfortunately giving up some control to try to set up a trap, but that's not really going to yield much either. So I feel like CNZ's a bit stuck right now.
He is. You can see the game plan with the bull rush is just to do that. So vengeurR needs to play the high ground to stop that from happening. He can't just be standing on the item. So I'm not very happy with that situation, but that's a scale bearer for you. That just happened. But at the same time, you have the opportunity to do a lot of damage to your opponent. And I agree, there's not much CNZ can be doing. That's the start. Make sure he does able to control that item now. Keep on top of vengeurR. You can see the pressure coming on. He's closing the gap already. So this is what he wanted out of the scale bearer.
Someone said, I don't know what CNZ could be doing differently. Not playing scale. Well, that unfortunately time has passed, hasn't it? So, yeah, now CNZ has been able to bring that back, doing a little bit of, getting in the face of vengeurR off of some of these opportunities. I'm surprised he's even been able to chase, but he's managed to make it happen. So another opportunity, great rail from vengeurR. He is going to get that eject out. He sees his opponent bull rush through that teleporter, but it's not going to matter. And this actually then serves as an opportunity here for vengeurR, possibly getting that rail. But no, it's CNZ who lands the rail, and vengeurR with only 16 points points of health. CNZ now trying to get that final hit as he picks up the Mega. He knows exactly where his opponent is. He's given up chase now. But he cannot find him. But look at that stack from CNZ. This is where he is most deadly.
After giving away so many early frags, you can really see how the momentum has changed.
No!
Yeah, vengeurR is struggling now.
Oh, no.
Oh no, he's stuck in the royal area. He does get out as he hits a good early rocket, but the pressure's on for vengeurR. CNZ is incredibly close to tying up this game up, looking almost futile for the first few minutes. Here's another easy frag, and vengeurR, he's the one struggling now.
You know, and I don't even know if I could tell you what CNZ is tweaked here, right?
He just got items.
And that's it, right? He got some control, and eventually, I think vengeurR can't keep up with that, right? With that stack advantage that CNZ creates. So there it is. Maybe CNZ is like, haha, you guys are all idiots. I'm playing the long con here, right? Like, sure, this might not look like it's going to work out, but I'm going to essentially chip away at vengeurR's play. If I'm controlling all these light armors, if I'm getting both major items, like eventually there's not going to be much that vengeurR can do other than run. And somehow CNZ has been able to maintain a speed and chase against his very quick opponent. So we're tied up. 2 minutes left to go. Crucial moments here. vengeurR's not showing himself at all. Does land a nice defensive rocket. We're going to see CNZ back down here. He is in rail danger territory. He does pick up another 25, but now it seems like vengeurR's done the exact same thing back to CNZ.
But vengeurR's done the hard thing, which is getting that stack down to a manageable level. When CNZ was running around absolutely fully blown, it was incredibly difficult. But now the momentum once again is back in vengeurR's corner. He can start raising the tempo, and that's when he was making it look easy. When he was the one taking the angles, he was the one playing quick. That's when the scale's vulnerable. So CNZ's time to try and stabilize now, which he's done. He's got himself a Mega, and he's slowed the pace down. You can instantly see that change in strategy. He just needs some lights and he'll be more than happy to go forward. He's got the bull rush. He might even try to use it for the next heavy.
I think he's exactly what he's going to do is he actually slows down yet again. 1 minute warning. We could go into sudden death overtime. Big moment here. CNZ could take a victory over vengeurR with the win on this map. Otherwise, we'll go to a decider in map 3. Either way, we are going to see it. And out of the teleporter, CNZ catches a glimpse of his opponent. Bull rush to grab the Mega. LG in the fight in the back hallways. The rail hits CNZ down to 15 points of health. vengeurR knows it.
What?
Oh my God, CNZ! Oh my God! vengeurR with the 360 shotgun blast out of the side, but CNZ knows his opponent is weak. He's going to go for it. Defensive rocket coming out by vengeurR, but another shot, so very low. One more hit. CNZ decides to double back for the heavy. He's got to give himself some level of advantage, but he's got to catch his opponent too. vengeurR still on the run. There is the Mega. He's got everything. If he lands this, he's going to be set up beautifully for a potential overtime, but it's not going to happen. 3, 2, 1, and vengeurR pulls it out in the last moment.
Once again,
unreal.
A flying start wins the game. That was another incredibly close map. Incredibly close.
Unreal. Yeah, one point game. Almost went to overtime there. Both players, I think, played really well. It just there were moments, right, where it was back and forth. Clearly in this player's hand. Clearly in this player's hand. I'm not even sure the breakdown for that final frag there by CNZ, but you know, vengeurR pulls it out, and man, he ran.
He did after the start, where he just ran at his opponent. He had to run a lot in that mid game as CNZ had full control. We saw the power of the scale bearer. When you're able to stabilize, you have that bull rush to be able to steal away items pretty much for free, particularly that Mega. You can get in and out instantly. He used it for the heavy once, which opened up the game. vengeurR actually mispositioned waiting on the item when he should have been high ground. He learned his lesson and didn't make that mistake again. So there was definitely merit to the scale bearer, but it's a niche pick, and vengeurR was able to work around it.
Yeah, and both players had some real nice shots throughout that. Both players exercise some control. You know, I do think that CNZ's strat was kind of like just gobble up, be the Pac-Man, pick up all the items, try to just get control that way, and then try to essentially constrict vengeurR on the map. It was a little bit harder to do, I think, with Anarchy. vengeurR did have some pretty good injects, but I still feel like that could have gone either way. And was that the championship pressure and kind of vengeurR knowing what to do there? Well, I thought CNZ slowed it down a couple of times in a real smart way too. So I am so excited, Dan, that we are going to a third map to decide this one. You know, think about Ruins, classic map. You've got a character champion mashup that I think is, you know, really is quite good. I do think that Galena can definitely take the upper hand. I think that depends a lot on vengeur's ability to clear out the totems and how he's going to use Spit to zone. A little bit more air control there, but this is a great third map to have a decider for the series on.
It is. I think it's a bit of a test for vengeurR because he's been definitely struggling and frustrated against CNZ. I thought CNZ's been pretty stable in both maps, and I also know vengeur's struggled on Ruins in the past. He gets very frustrated on this map, but particularly if CNZ, as you say, can slow the pace down, it gets to you. And so vengeurR needs to keep his cool, not try and force the issue, whereas CNZ just needs to keep what he's doing. He's not going to be able to play too fast as a Galena. You want to be getting that overstack up, and that will naturally force you to play slightly slower. And his rail's been on form pretty much throughout, so he was losing some of the angles on the last map, whereas on map 1 he was winning them. So definitely concentrate on getting the earlier angles over vengeurR, and he should be in a pretty decent spot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. I'm curious to see what happens here at the channel points as vengeurR still tend to be favored here for map number 3, but I think it's a coin flip on this one, and it's hard to say. The opening moments definitely going to be very, you know, interesting. I think I'm still going to be thinking about that CNZ opener on Deep Embrace for a while. It was just so perfect. I mean, the timing on where his opponent spawned, like everything. So how is this going to play out? Also expect to see some like ups and downs and ebbs and flows overall in this one. Like CNZ has shown, I'm ready to slow down if I need to. I could absolutely see something like that happen here on Ruins, but agree that vengeurR has struggled on this map, so it's his time to shine. But CNZ definitely in a good position to potentially steal it away here.
And yeah, it would be an upset. I mean, already I'd be surprised if there's any channel points left in the community because both those maps have gone the reverse way as expected. So let's hope this restores the balance.
Yes, indeed. We'll find out very soon as the countdown has begun and they say fight, and we're looking at vengeur's eyes, and he's going to get the mega while his opponent will get the heavy. Now vengeur's going to obviously position himself at the top level. Just waiting for his opponent, gathering intel, trying to find out where he is. He knows at least, you know, that he got the heavy and knows the timing of it. So let's see what he does. So we get the first totem cleared out. Rockets exchanged from both players. So vengeurR now with a really great idea of where his opponent is. They are going to go ahead and swap major items here. And I would say this is a pretty standard start here so far on Ruins.
Yeah, vengeur's gone out of his way to make sure CNZ can't set himself up early down by the heavy. He knows that's where CNZ wants to be. He wants to build that totem fortress down there. Yep. So he's just taken that away as an opportunity. He hasn't got an LG either, so he's a bit afraid to push out onto mid-map.
Let's see. He's being very quiet about it. Mega is up. It hasn't been picked up yet, so we're going to have some time here. I'm going to flip to CNZ really quick just to see. Yeah, he's waiting for it. He wants to separate these two to give himself the window of opportunity. Of course, that also means that you're giving that window to your opponent if the first battle doesn't really go your way. But surgical indeed by both players. I like CNZ delaying the mega a little bit. vengeurR has no idea when that is. There he's going to throw the spit out to try to zone at the bottom. He's going to grab that heavy, but now a great opportunity for vengeurR to go up. He turns around, sees that mega isn't there. How long is he going to wait around for it? Opponent coming around from the corner. CNZ landing a rail, and this is going to be pretty big for vengeurR here. Boom, he grabs it, and he needed it badly. CNZ is hurting, and now vengeurR in a really good spot. spot considering he knows the timing of both of these and has the stack to fight it out there. A nice rocket. He follows up with the second one around the column, and beautifully done as vengeur's on the board first.
Yeah, he had no right to do that. CNZ knew what was up. He set up early, but the rockets were perfection from vengeurR. But you could see the cat and mouse here fighting for control of the heavy area. And as you rightly pointed out, some good rails from CNZ, but he just did enough to pick up that. And taking away those totems is also really valuable. It sets CNZ back in terms of his long-term game. So nicely done by vengeurR. And he's respecting CNZ. He knows exactly what CNZ wants to do, and he's playing his game for him.
Wow, those rails from CNZ. He's going to come back down for a second chance, and he does get knocked up by a beautiful rocket, but LG cleans him up, and that's going to tie us up 1-1. You know, good setup there by vengeurR, but even better breakthrough by CNZ as he went back in for it and is playing really, really smart now. Takes a lot of plasma as he goes in for that mega. The LG battle still ensues, and look at, I mean, CNZ picked up the mega too, so vengeurR actually did a ton of damage there, but not enough. Now CNZ with the lead by 1.
Yeah, CNZ's aim is on point. Definitely doing more damage in these engagements. He's also got the jump on vengeurR in a few of these situations as well, so vengeurR needs to be careful. There's a good return rail. CNZ is set up. He has to drop because he knows vengeur's going to be pressuring that mega, as he does, but now there's nothing up for a while, so CNZ needs to be careful.
Yeah, this is actually a tough spot. Like, that was one of those rails that vengeurR won't realize how important that rail was until much, much later when he goes back and rewatches this. But CNZ's left. He's got to extend so far outside of his own rotation to grab that one armor stack because he's got nothing. And right now, vengeur's sitting with a great stack. He's able to put himself in a position. He's setting up a little trap, as we're seeing there on our screens. Now, CNZ's going to get that. LG's been working out quite good for him. Actually, he is shooting a 41% LG right now, and he's caught down below. He immediately has to go ahead and get out of there. 4 minutes on the clock. The heavy is going to be back up. It's going to go to vengeurR, and now he's going to rotate over to mega. So he's in a good position. CNZ's just going to play this as smart as he can.
He's got the overstack up at the next round of his totem, so he's not too bothered at the moment. Not sure if he's lost timing though, so he's just waiting around for vengeurR to make a mistake, but vengeur's not going to do that, and he has to get out of dodge. And vengeur's also not going to chase because he knows how vulnerable he is. So there's the overstack, and now CNZ's sitting pretty. He's got himself a light as well, so he's actually okay. He's not, it's not the end of the world. Once you've given away the items, it almost doesn't make sense to contest until you do the pre-damage, because your opponent's going to be stacked nonetheless.
He's going to go in for it anyway. Spit coming out. LG2 completely dodges the spit. Oh no, he takes one kick and then the rail.
No way.
Oh my gosh, to tie it back up. He did the dance, and vengeurR pulls it off. Now we're tied yet again. vengeurR with a beautiful rail. Oh my god, the double rail from the top. That is not an easy angle to hit, but he makes it look so simple. Dan, 2-3 now. vengeurR finds himself now in the lead for the first time since the initial frag.
Both of which have been crazy close frags. CNZ pushing him to the wire, but he's done so. He's now trying to contest for this mega, and vengeur's going to have to respect that. But can he even defend this heavy? That is the big question. CNZ, if he doesn't have a rocket, it's going to be a tough fight for him. I don't think he does have a rocket, so this is actually risky for CNZ. vengeurR could dance around the pillars, swap into the rail, and it hits a lovely fadeaway shot. So it works out okay for CNZ in the end.
Yeah. Oh, and another rail. Uh-oh, both players very, very low. Clears out one totem, second totem. That's going to be good for vengeurR, but he has no health. He's got, you know, he's going to be in a world of hurt here as he's going to try to top himself back up, finding or looking for any place where his opponent might be. Now, meanwhile, CNZ is going to use this opportunity after kind of capitalizing there to grab both of our major items, and suddenly it is CNZ with the better stack here. And he talked a little bit earlier about him getting the overstack and how he put himself in a good spot. You know, ended up losing that battle overall, but you know, he's definitely fighting back.
Yeah, it's cat and mouse now as vengeur's the one on the back foot, having to dart away for CNZ to make a mistake. Last time it was a huge contest for the mega. We'll see what time it is this But vengeur's done a good job of just managing map and picking up basic stack.
Wow. That Spit actually getting some good damage there as well. The Mega's going to be back up. vengeurR knows exactly where his opponent is. Definitely grabbed it. Oh my gosh, on the drop down! What? What? That was like 200 LG damage and still manages to get it, tying it back up. CNZ now with an opportunity. I can't believe it. It looked for sure like vengeurR was going to have a good drop on him, but CNZ...
Yeah, vengeurR couldn't believe it either, Wheat. He was not happy, but CNZ has full control. What can you expect? vengeurR's done nothing in terms of damage, so it was always going to be a hard fight nonetheless. He's so early for these items, but he has no choice. He has to make a big move to stay in this set, but CNZ is just chunky, pushing his way in safely, playing distance game, exchanging rails, but vengeurR hits two back to back. And that was the big move he needed.
That absolutely was. vengeurR is very, very low. However, in fact, he went up the jump pad. I think he hurt his opponent and immediately just dropped back down. Unfortunately, nothing that CNZ could do. And now vengeurR's got to do everything to try to hold on to this one frag lead. And, you know, actually, given his setup here with Spit, and he can't just give full control away, he's got to still keep in this, because if it were to go to overtime, he cannot find himself in a bad spot. Yeah. So clearing totem's going to be his strategy here as he navigates throughout the map. His opponent about ready to come up. I think that CNZ might actually go ham here as he's going to pick up. There he waits for that Mega, trying to hit the rail. Oh my god, vengeurR decides to go for it. He's a madman as rockets are flying everywhere towards him. His opponent now coming in hard. No! Why? Why?
He's gonna die. He's gonna.
Oh my
he died anyway.
Freaking way! Are you kidding me right now?
I think what vengeurR wanted to do was to bait CNZ out, but it ended up being a full committal. Somehow CNZ gets away but dies anyway. This is insane. And with just less than a minute to go, CNZ has to make something happen. What a rail to hit the feet! That will set CNZ back from making any sort of advance, but he's going to have to find a way to do something, and it's not going to happen for CNZ.
And that's Mega for vengeurR. He takes the rail from the top, but all he's got to do is pitch the tent right here.
Yeah, he doesn't need to move.
He does not need to move at all. He can go defensively pretty much from wherever he's at. He decides he's going to try to style a little bit here to just make it work. But he's got 15 seconds to potential victory. And I got to say, I feel like this is actually a CNZ upset in terms of him not winning this one. There's the final 5 seconds, and the chase is on, but it's not going to matter. vengeurR, the Acid, is the real MVP of Game 3. The Spit does its job. 4-5, another ridiculously close match, but vengeurR pulls it out 2-1. We brought Ketchup back. I can't wait to hear what he thinks about that game. Unbelievable from start to finish.
The whole series was fantastic, but that one ending in particular with the acid tick, obviously we are like a small amount ahead live compared to like the stream and that, so I saw it happen here. The first thing I did was look at my other monitor, put the stream on, and I just looked at the chat and just waited for the reactions. It's so unfortunate that he just didn't manage to get that totem heal. I mean, a few frames later maybe he would have been able to get away with it. But what a fitting end to such an absolute nail-biter of a series. And that's even the second map was able to deliver because of just how close it was to being a full comeback. And then even on on Insomnia, we were able to see vengeurR kind of catch a real pattern that CNZ was cycling around the map. I was watching that whole map through CNZ's point of view for the scale bearer, and right when he managed to get that one sort of like bull rush on the armor and get the classic scale bearer kill, started to get those 4 frags, he was following like a complete circuit around the map and he was soaking everything up, and it looked like, how is anyone going to be able to stop this kind of momentum? And vengeurR, being the adaptive player that he is, was able to very much catch wind of that pattern and then started getting those kind of preemptive rails and stuff like that. So that was just a taster of what the final map would be, but definitely series of the day. I mean, it was.
Agreed.
It couldn't have been closer. It couldn't have been closer.
I mean, I know we have one more featured match left, so we might eat those words, but that was pretty damn amazing through and through. Dan, what are your final thoughts on that one?
I thought that last map was very reminiscent of old school Venga, you know, just playing almost hyper defensive, hitting all the clutch shots, heavy on the rockets, heavy on the rail, just pulling magical stuff out. But overall, you know, I think there's a lot of people out there that will look at this and go, maybe CNZ is maybe better than I thought. And he's shown today how close it was. Every single map decided by a frag. CNZ consistent with the 4 frags across the board. Couldn't have been any closer, and that map won. That's the one I expected Venga to win easily, and it was the complete reverse. So well played by CNZ throughout, and Venga will have to go away, and I'm sure he won't be entirely happy even with the victory that it was so close.
It was a good game though. That's it. Of that we can very much all agree. But unfortunately to say, folks, we actually only have time for one more series. The games have been so good, I wish we could just have hundreds more. But we're going to go for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to set up Rafa versus Maxter, our final series of the day. Take a quick break after that one. We all need it. See you in a bit.